Okay, so imagine this. You have spent years, sometimes literally decades, sailing with the same cruise line over and over again. You counted every single night, tracked every single point, and grinded your way up those loyalty tiers, one trip at a time. You genuinely believed those perks were yours. Like you earned them, they belong to you, end of story. But here is the crazy part. What if they are just quietly vanishing before your very next sailing? Right now, millions of loyal cruisers across the entire country are waking up to some absolutely insane changes happening inside their favorite cruise line loyalty programs. And the wildest thing is, most of them had zero warning it was even coming. So I need you to stop and ask yourself one very important question right now. Are the perks you have been working so hard to earn for years being slowly and silently stripped away from you without anyone even telling you? Because we did the research, we dug deep, and what we found is going to genuinely blow your mind. So do not click away, because this is something every single cruiser needs to hear. Before diving into what is changing, let us quickly break down how these programs actually work. Most major cruise lines operate on a tiered loyalty system. Carnival Cruise Line has their VIFP Club, which stands for Very Important Fun Person. Royal Caribbean runs the Crown and Anchor Society. Norwegian Cruise Line offers the Latitudes Rewards program, and Celebrity Cruises has the Captain's Club. Each program rewards cruisers based on nights sailed or money spent on bookings. The more you sail, the higher your tier climbs. Tiers typically range from entry-level all the way up to elite or pinnacle status. Reaching higher tiers unlocks increasingly valuable perks. It sounds straightforward, and for years it genuinely was. But understanding this foundation is important before we talk about what loyal cruisers came to expect from these programs over time. For years, loyal cruisers knew exactly what they were working toward. Reaching elite status meant something truly special. Free drinks waiting in your cabin, priority boarding that let you skip the long lines, and complimentary cabin upgrades that transformed a standard room into something far more luxurious. Onboard credits gave you spending freedom, whether at the spa, specialty restaurants, or shore excursions. Exclusive lounge access created a sense of community among fellow loyal sailors, offering quiet retreats with dedicated staff and premium amenities. These were not just perks, they were promises. They were the cruise lines saying, "Your continued business matters to us, and we want to reward you for it." For millions of cruisers, these benefits became the very reason they kept coming back, sailing year after year with the same brand, building memories and milestones along the way. But here is where things take a frustrating turn. Over the past year or so, several major cruise lines have quietly rolled out updates and restructured the very loyalty programs that millions of cruisers have spent years investing in. These are not minor tweaks or small adjustments. In many cases, these are fundamental shifts in how benefits are earned, accessed, and delivered. And the reaction from the cruising community has been anything but quiet. Travel forums like Cruise Critic have exploded with heated discussions, and social media groups dedicated to cruising are filled with long-time loyalists venting their disappointment and disbelief. People who have sailed 10, 20, even 30 or more times are suddenly questioning whether their loyalty still means anything to the cruise lines they have faithfully supported for so long. Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society has long been considered one of the most rewarding loyalty programs at sea, but recent changes have left many long-time members feeling short-changed. Diamond members, who once enjoyed complimentary cocktail vouchers redeemable almost anywhere on board, now find those vouchers capped and restricted to specific venues and limited hours. Suite lounge access, previously a celebrated perk for top-tier members, has become increasingly crowded and inconsistent across different ships. Priority boarding, once a reliable benefit, has reportedly become less organized and harder to guarantee. Members who have sailed 30, 40, even 50 or more nights are noticing these quiet rollbacks most intensely because they built their loyalty around specific expectations. Many are sharing their frustrations across cruise forums and social media, describing a program that feels less generous than the one they originally committed to years ago. Now let's talk about Carnival Cruise Line and their very important Fun Person Loyalty Program, commonly known as VIFP. For years, Carnival sailors climbed through tiers from Blue all the way up to Diamond, expecting meaningful rewards at each level. But frequent Carnival cruisers have been noticing something troubling lately. The perks that once felt genuinely rewarding at the Gold, Platinum and Diamond tiers have quietly shifted in value. Complimentary drinks, priority check-in advantages, and onboard credits that once felt substantial now feel noticeably thinner. Some Diamond members are reporting that the exclusivity they worked years to earn simply does not carry the same weight anymore. The question being asked across cruising communities is straightforward but serious. Is Carnival still genuinely rewarding loyalty, or are frequent sailors simply getting less in return for their continued dedication to the brand? Norwegian Cruise Line has made notable adjustments to their Latitudes Rewards program, quietly restructuring how certain tier benefits are delivered, particularly around complimentary dining and beverage perks that long-time members once considered guaranteed. Similarly, Celebrity Cruises has revised their Captain's Club program, with some members reporting reduced onboard credits and changes to priority embarkation privileges they previously relied on. What makes these shifts particularly striking is the pattern emerging across the entire industry. Whether you sail with Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian or Celebrity, the direction appears remarkably consistent. Lines are either capping benefits, converting automatic perks into request-based ones, or simply eliminating certain rewards altogether. Loyal cruisers who have spent years climbing through tier levels are now questioning whether reaching that next status level is even worth the effort anymore, given these sweeping industry-wide adjustments. The frustration is not just numbers on a spreadsheet, it is personal. Across cruising forums, Facebook groups and review platforms, loyal customers are sharing stories that are genuinely heartbreaking for travel enthusiasts. One cruiser who completed 47 sailings with Royal Caribbean described logging into their account before a new booking only to discover that their complimentary drink vouchers had been quietly capped. Another Carnival loyalist who reached platinum status after 15 years reported that their priority boarding experience felt no different from general boarding on their most recent trip. Norwegian regulars have echoed similar sentiments, describing lounges that once felt exclusive now feeling overcrowded and understaffed. These are not isolated complaints. They represent a growing chorus of voices from people who built genuine emotional connections with their cruise lines, only to feel that connection slowly being devalued without explanation or apology. To be fair, cruise lines are not making these changes out of pure greed. The pandemic nearly destroyed the entire industry. Ships sat empty for over 2 years, billions of dollars were lost, and many lines took on massive debt just to survive. Now they are rebuilding in an environment of rising fuel costs, higher food and labor expenses, and relentless inflation across every department on board. Attracting brand new cruisers is expensive, and loyalty perks that were designed during more profitable times are now straining already tight budgets. Cruise lines argue they must balance rewarding their most devoted customers while also keeping ticket prices competitive enough to bring fresh faces on board. It is a genuinely difficult balancing act, and understanding this context does not excuse every decision, but it does help explain the pressures driving these uncomfortable changes. Here is something important to understand. What is happening in cruising is not happening in isolation. This is part of a much larger travel industry pattern that has been unfolding for years. Airlines were actually the first to lead this charge. Programs like Delta Sky Miles and American A Advantage have repeatedly devalued their miles, making redemptions cost significantly more points than before. Hotel chains followed closely behind. Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton Honors have both restructured their reward categories, quietly raising the points required for free nights. The common thread across airlines, hotels and cruise lines is identical. Companies introduce generous loyalty programs to build a devoted customer base, then gradually walk back those promises once that base is firmly established. Loyal travelers across every sector are essentially experiencing the same frustration, just through different booking platforms. Now that you understand the bigger picture, let's talk about what you personally need to watch for when reviewing your cruise loyalty program terms. First, check expiration policies on your points or credits. Some programs have quietly introduced windows where unused benefits simply vanish. Next, look closely at blackout dates, which may have expanded significantly, making it harder to redeem rewards during peak sailing seasons. Pay attention to reductions in complimentary amenities like free laundry, specialty dining discounts, or welcome gifts that may have been quietly removed from your tier. Perhaps most frustrating is the shift from automatic perks to request-based benefits, meaning you now have to ask for something you once received automatically. Always read program update emails carefully and revisit the official terms page before every booking to avoid unpleasant surprises on board. Before more changes hit, here is how to protect and maximize what you have earned. First, book your next sailing sooner rather than later, locking in current tier benefits before any new policy takes effect. Check your cruise line's promotional calendar and time your bookings around double-point events or bonus credit offers, as these can accelerate your tier status significantly. When on board, stack your loyalty perks with onboard credit promotions and any travel credit card rewards you carry, since combining these can dramatically offset your total vacation cost. Always call your loyalty desk directly rather than booking online, because agents sometimes have access to unpublished perks for higher tier members. Finally, read every updated terms email your cruise line sends, because buried inside those messages are often critical changes that directly affect your next sailing experience. So here is the big question. Should you stay loyal to one cruise line or start spreading your sailings around? Brand loyalty has real advantages. Reaching elite status on a single line means deeper perks, better recognition, and a more personalized experience over time. But here is the catch. If that line keeps quietly reducing those rewards, your loyalty may be costing you more than it is giving back. Cruise line hopping lets you chase the best deals, explore different ships, and avoid being locked into a system that may not value you the way it once did. The smartest approach for many cruisers today is a hybrid strategy. Maintain status on your preferred line while occasionally sailing competitors when the value clearly outweighs the loyalty points you might sacrifice. To be fair, not every cruise line is moving in the wrong direction. Some are actually stepping up and introducing genuinely exciting enhancements to their loyalty programs. Princess Cruises, for example, has been expanding benefits within their Captain's Circle program, adding more personalized experiences and meaningful onboard credits that loyal members can actually feel. Virgin Voyages has taken a fresh approach entirely, building a loyalty structure that rewards sailors with perks that feel modern and relevant rather than outdated. MSC Cruises has also been growing their Voyagers Club with competitive tier benefits designed to attract and retain dedicated cruisers. These moves show that when cruise lines truly listen to their customers, positive change is absolutely possible. So while frustration across the industry is real and valid, it is equally important to recognize and support the lines that are genuinely getting it right. If you feel like your loyalty is being taken for granted, you are not powerless. Start by contacting customer service directly and calmly expressing your concerns about specific perk reductions. Document everything, including dates, booking numbers, and promised benefits. Next, join cruiser advocacy groups on platforms like Facebook and Reddit, where thousands of fellow sailors are organizing and sharing strategies. These communities can amplify individual voices into collective pressure that cruise lines simply cannot ignore. Leaving detailed, honest reviews on TripAdvisor and Google also holds companies publicly accountable. Social media is perhaps your strongest tool. Tagging cruise lines on Twitter or Instagram with specific complaints often generates faster responses than traditional customer service channels. When loyal cruisers speak loudly together, cruise lines listen. Your years of dedication deserve genuine respect, not quietly shrinking rewards. So here is what it all comes down to. Cruise loyalty programs are changing, and the cruisers who stay informed are the ones who will come out ahead. Do not assume the perks you earned yesterday will still be waiting for you tomorrow. Read the fine print, check for program updates regularly, and never take your hard-earned status for granted. Whether you are a Diamond member with Royal Caribbean or a Platinum sailor with Carnival, your benefits are only as strong as your awareness of them. The cruise lines are watching their bottom lines, so you need to watch yours. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest cruise tips and updates. And hey, drop a comment down below with an alrighty just to let us know you made it to the end. Or better yet, share your own loyalty program experience with the community. Have your perks been reduced or changed recently? We want to hear all about it, so keep that conversation going in the comments below.